This right here is going to separate the WWE Universe more than you think. The idea of, was it a work or not a work? Was R-Truth's return part of the script, or was it a crowd-led kind of fever pitch uproar that led the WWE to pivot? And now I'm here not to tell you who's right or wrong, but let's go ahead and discuss this for a second. My name is Sancho West, and welcome to my Sancho West Wrestling, where I love to talk about wrestling. And if you love wrestling just as much as I do, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You are going to enjoy it here as well. So let's answer this question, but the way I'm going to answer is I'm going to provide you my point of view that maybe that we are forgetting the most vital part of this entire saga. Now, for those of you who don't know, at Money in the Bank, R-Truth returned to stop John Cena and Logan Paul for beating Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Now, the concept of a work, meaning that it was a produced thing from the point of R-Truth announcing on Twitter that he is no longer going to be re-signed, that they're going to let the contract lapse from the WWE, and he's going to no longer be part of the WWE, to the actual clarification, because he did say released, and then we get the whole notion that, wait, what happened to R-Truth? The chants of we want truth everywhere on social media. We want truth. The hashtag we want truth, kind of leading into this uproar, like I mentioned at the opening, and then the occasional chants on Raw, SmackDown, and in Worlds Collide. And we got to the point where at Money in the Bank, R-Truth comes out. So the idea is, was this entire thing planned? Now, on the Wrestling School podcast, if you listen to that, I said that if the WWE is going to execute a work of this magnitude, it's going to be a very, very scary thing to do. It's going to require the most excellent execution to pull this off swimmingly. Now, I'm being optimistic. I would admit that. I'm being optimistic this was all part of the plan. And the reason why I kind of feel this way is that I feel like there was too many things that made sense. Too many things lined up perfectly for them to all of a sudden make this perfect pivot into R-Truth stopping John Cena and Logan Paul. I often ask myself, what would have been the original finish if R-Truth was a part of it? There's so many factors that I don't really want to get into this video. I don't want to make you think like, ooh, you're wrong for thinking you're worked, or you're wrong for thinking that you weren't worked. That this other side of the coin talks about that it was a grassroots movement that led to R-Truth returning. The crowd, the hashtags, the chants, all that led to TKO to kind of backtrack and fix their mistake and reinstate R-Truth. To both of these can be true, but what I kind of want to talk about is I feel like I haven't really seen anybody really talked about this. There's a couple of things you got to understand, right? That the WWE is known to do this. This is pro wrestling at its core. Pro wrestling has the ability to pivot. It is so loose and flexible. Now, oftentimes when you talk about Triple H's booking, he always talks about, the GPS, the ending point. How we get there, we don't know, but we know we're going to get to this point. I just always have to say, like, who knows how do we get there, and what was the original plan? And one thing as well is that we point out the tweet at the very beginning, the thumbnail, R-Truth says it's no work. But I don't think R-Truth would ever admit something is a work as well, especially if it slows down the new momentum of his new character on his next run as himself. So I do believe in one thing, that R-Truth's contract was lapsing, right? That was for sure a certain thing. It's a common thing that happens in pro wrestling. Contracts come and go. But I don't know if Triple H, who's one of the boys type of vibe, would have let a contract go without some pomp and circumstance, without a thank you, without a package of some sort. Now, we don't know. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. And I know before you get to the comment section, we're throwing me with a lot of facts and things like that. It was known through 72 hours before that he re-signed, that Nick Khan personally kind of negotiated the contract, that R-Truth was ignoring the WWE. There's so many things out there, whether they're verified, not verified. But one thing that I just wanted to make this video, and here's the whole point of this entire video, is I want to choose and believe that anything that holds that ever fleeting vibe of kayfabe, that's what I want to believe in, okay? Like, the magic of wrestling lives and breathes on kayfabe. And in an era where the WWE is literally doing everything that it can to unveil the shroud of kayfabe, and for those of you who kayfabe knows, it's like the story that exists inside the ring of the WWE Universe, the world that they're setting, right? That this person hates this person's a heel, this person's a babyface. It's like the core fundamental of wrestling, right? This thing has slowly disappeared. Now, I'm not one of those ones that like, oh, modern day wrestling is awful because of kayfabe, and wrestlers should not travel together, not be seen together, not make a social account. That is ridiculous. All right, you cannot be locked in the past. But I would say that the magic of kayfabe is ever fleeting. All right, and what I really want to point out that is, imagine if the internet didn't exist. And I'm gonna throw a hypothetical here. If we didn't know about contracts, if we didn't know how the backside of the business works, if the wrestlers didn't communicate with the fans via a social media platform, let's just take a look at this entire story at face value, right? R-Truth worships John Cena, right? Saves John Cena against Randy Orton at Backlash, gets an AA at the press conference for all his troubles. R-Truth then commits to saving John Cena by reminding him who he is, literally mimics him as Ron Cena. We get to basically witness at firsthand what's happening here through R-Truth's eyes. R-Truth at Saturday night's main event sees for his own eyes what's happening to John Cena, how bad he's become and how he's about to use a heel with the belt. You get to see that all unfold. Unfortunately, I can't show you through the copyright, but you get to all see it unfold in R-Truth's eyes, that he's realizing that his dream is gone. He's met his hero, right? So John Cena isn't who he says he is. And then he gets low blowed and pinned in 5 minutes. And then, of course, he goes away and he gets his revenge at Money in the Bank. The face comes back and he gets his ultimate comeuppance for the heel. All that goes down, right? It's a pretty standard wrestling story. But because we have all this extra stuff, the story became very complex. You know what I'm saying? That's where pro wrestling right there loses its magic. And again, I want to stress that that's what wrestling is now, right? It's part of it. The how and why we got to somewhere shouldn't be more important than the story itself, okay? The story should always take precedent. Oftentimes we get this whole kayfabe blurred, and I blame the WWE as well with this whole behind the scenes segments, how we had the Cody movement and they try to justify that it was all part of the plan. It just really muddies the waters. But when the WWE and any wrestling promotion, you would try to find that shred of truth. But this year, it's been a really complex pivot from the WWE to really reveal themselves as, no, we are storytellers. We have baby faces, we have heels. We're not doing kayfabe. And I think that's what we're all forgetting at the end of the day. How important is R-Truth's journey? Where does he go after this fact? Where all this rainbows and sunshine and his happy-go-lucky demeanor, that version of R-Truth is gone, and now he's going to as himself going forward. And maybe the momentum of returning back to himself could either propel him to TNA or different promotions. Maybe this little re-sign was a short contract so that he could fulfill the rest of it, so he could come back and leave on his own terms and have a retirement match, a proper send-off. Regardless of all what happened behind the scenes, I'm just thinking that we should focus what's happening in the ring and what story that's being told. How we got there, why we got there shouldn't matter. What does matter is what the story is being told between John Cena and R-Truth. And I think that's what makes wrestling magical. Because, man, there was some magic that day at Money in the Bank when R-Truth returned and got his revenge. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, believe what you want to believe. Was it a work or not a work? I'm just here to provide you that third perspective to always remember the story. I mean, you got to finish the story. That's how important that was too. Like and share. I see you around. Sub for more. Peace.